How's it going, everybody? Hope we're all doing all alright today. Back with a brand new video of Campfire Stories Lancashire. Hope we're all doing all well today. And in today's video, guys, I'm going to be going back to some Bushcraft Basics 101, and I'm going to attempt to build myself a makeshift bench of logs and different things I can find up here. As you can see, I'm sure the very astute of you will have noticed very specialist equipment got in my bag. Got my big rucksack on today, got my new penknife in my bag, come equipped with a load of nails. So yeah, those who know me well know I'm not a natural builder at all, so this is going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be just about acceptable, or it'll just be shambolic. It'll just be a pile of logs with nails hammered into it of all different contortions and shapes, and it'll be just like, you know, hope for the best kind of thing. So yeah, if you want to see how I fare in today's video, please stick around. So I'm up here quite early today, in fact. It's about 7:45, so it's still quite early. Reason being, it's time for that old annual Campfire Stories Lancashire weather report. Here in the UK, where I am, Lancashire, for my friends over in the States who watch these, can have a look where that is. It's northwest of, you know, northern England, I suppose is what you could class it as, where I live. Anyway, yeah, about 11 o'clock onwards today, the whole of Lancashire is to be covered in a monsoon. It's going to last for a couple of days, so I thought I need to get up here today early, get my building done, and then I've got my type in my bag, so if needs be I can shove that up and protect my whole shelter and hopefully my new bit of furniture that I built today from the elements. So yeah, that's the plan. Something I was going to say, I forgot what it was. But yeah, it's been quite a while since I brought you guys up to my actual shelter, because I've made a new addition to it as of recent. I've added like a small cocoon teepee type shelter on it, that, you know, I can keep all my equipment dry and underneath. So yeah, checking with you when I get there. Just gathering my firewood now, extra firewood. So I've actually brought a load of dry kindling up with me. But I wanted to get a little bit extra to file with a penknife. See how good that's working. But yeah, I can actually feel it. Raindrops already dropping on my hand and my hat. Camera ain't really picking it up, obviously, but that is what the weather did say. And because I'm high up as well, obviously, greater chance of getting caught in a rain cloud or whatever. So yeah, I might have to get the type up early just to protect myself and my little abode. There's me little cocoon teepee type shelter thing. Actually looks a little bit dilapidated on the camera compared to when I first built it, but all I did was just, let me put this down. excuse me. All I've done is just extended the den out a little bit into that corner, and then surrounding logs, I've pinned them up against it, you know, like a three-sided shape kind of arrangement. And then luckily all that windfall we had a few weeks ago from all these storms, just conifer tree branches have fallen down all over the place. They make for great natural cover. Obviously they will need switching over in a couple of months' time, when all the pine needles have just shriveled up and died. But obviously Billings Wood, as you can see, at any which point you turn, it's full of cover, particularly rhododendron bushes. So yeah, it won't be a difficult job to fix up when it gets to it. But yeah, I think I'm going to crack on now and get this bench on the go. Right, so that's all kind of done and dusted now. Yeah, it didn't really go according to plan, did that. This flipping fire smoke is something else today, guys. It's killing me eyes. Doesn't look like I'm crying most of the time. Yeah, axe, the wood cutting with the axe was fun, I have to admit. Doing that in the rain, that was a good hoot. But when it actually came time to start assembling stuff with hammer and nail, the nails were nowhere near big enough to get through these logs. And I suppose I was a bit over ambitious to begin with, really, thinking about it, doing it with just basic nails. But I'm sat on it now. You know, it's serviceable. Oh god, the smoke. Yeah, it's serviceable, you can sit on it as long as you're not, like, you know, doing like a butt dance on it or anything, wiggling your bum around or out like that. It's okay to sit on, I suppose. Could do with some proper like army cord maybe to tie it all up together, and maybe I can build it up a bit more. But it's only the first time I've ever done it like this, so I suppose it weren't going to be perfect, was it, knowing my luck. Oh, and I did most of that through the rain as well, hence why the tarp's up. But I don't know, guys, there's something about this tarp. It's winding me up. Like, the poles are all bendy and, you know, it just looks a bit... I've had to put that log in the middle of it to try and stand it up a bit more. It'll keep you dry in a pinch, but I like things to look nice and aesthetically pleasing, you know. So it's I might get a new one. I might look into getting a new one at some point, but it'll do for today, I suppose. You know, at least it's nice and warm in front of the fire. Stopped raining for the minute, and it's about 10 o'clock, so probably have about an hour or so dry weather before it rain comes back big time. So I'm just going to chill and enjoy my coffee for now. Happy now I've got my coffee. Tell you what, one thing I did actually want to talk about today before I wrap the video up, really, was about Bigfoot, of course, of all things. And it was about it's like a folklore tale within, you know, the phenomena of Bigfoot worldwide, and it emanates from Alaska, a place called Portlock, which is it's a portside town. It's actually a ghost town now. It was abandoned in the 1940s, and as the story goes, it's believed within, you know, like our community within the Bigfoot world, that the townsfolk of Portlock were driven out of their homes by some rogue tribes of Bigfoot that were trying to, obviously, you know, essentially take back their territory. You know, these people have come and settled in their natural habitat and made this fishing port, and the Bigfoots have taken matters into their own hands and driven them out. And yeah, as the story goes, in the 1940s, people began to disappear, and hunters who would, you know, go up into the wilderness, you know, in the hopes of killing possibly what they thought maybe was a bear or a mountain lion or wolves, they would just disappear without trace. So yeah, very, very creepy and interesting. And in that sort of region of Canada, Alaska, the Bigfoot in question, the type of Bigfoot within sort of like the Aboriginal culture, was known as the Nantinak, which is spelt with a Q. And yeah, obviously it's just another example of how, you know, the Aboriginals, the Native Americans in you know, Canada and Alaska and America itself, they have such a vast, rich culture and history on Bigfoot slash Sasquatch, and have many, many names for this creature, this being. If you wanted to sort of like actually look at the subject objectively though, as to these people who obviously disappeared, and these oh god, that smoke, God, it burns your eyes. Whew, I need to start wearing shades around the fire, I think, all year round. Yeah, if you wanted to look at this objectively and think about potential candidates as to what could have made these people disappear, you know, what creature that we already know exists. I mean, we know Bigfoot exists, obviously, but I'm talking objectively, you know, the wildlife that is recognised by the scientific community. Using my very humble zoological knowledge, you know, when you look at the candidates for that area, obviously first thing you think about is the grizzly bear, which is obviously, it's very common in Alaska. Bears as a general whole species, they're not all obligate carnivores, and what I mean by that, not all of them eat just meat. The only species of bear to my knowledge that does that is the polar bear, but grizzly bears certainly, you know, they're omnivores. 90% of their diet is fruits and berries, and they'll occasionally scavenge off carcasses. And yeah, in the event of an attack, even that is unlikely, because it's, you know, that culture in Alaska and Canada, because they're so used to these creatures, they have protocols as to what to do if you come across one. You know, and more often than not, it's very, very easy to phase a bear. I'm under the impression anyway, if you're used to being around them. They're very respectful of staying away from human beings. And the only time they'll actively attack if it's a mother that's got cubs. So in my opinion, that rules bears out. And then after that, you've got cougars, which, you know, I've touched upon this before, because obviously we do have a big cat problem in this country. You know, big cats of that size, they will think twice about going for a grown human, especially when there's more than one of you. More than likely, You know, cats are very, very shy creatures generally by far and large, and they'll avoid humans, and they'll only attack if they're hungry. And even still, going for a fully grown human being, you know, it's unlikely unless they're desperate. A cougar, mountain lion, you know, that size of cat, I've said it before, they wouldn't think twice about going for a child, God forbid. But a fully grown person, not so much. So it's not entirely impossible that it could have been, you know, a man-eating cougar out there, mountain lion. And then that leaves you with wolves, and I would say out of the three of them, wolves are the most likely. I would say by far and large they are the most dangerous of the three. When they're in packs, wolves are relentless. You know, they will chase down moose for kilometres in a bid just to tire them out, and then it makes it easier to bring the thing down and kill it. Very intelligent creatures, as I say, pack hunters, and very good readers of body language as well. You know, if you're caught out with a pack of wolves, and you know, they zero in on you and they decide they're hungry and they're going to have you, you're in big trouble. So out of the three of them, I would say wolves are the most likely as to what could have potentially, you know, made these people disappear. But then when you look further into this phenomenon, you know, there's the 411 files, which obviously, you know, that's a great big catalogue of people that go missing throughout Canada and America and, you know, the US as a whole, and not just the US, worldwide. The UK is third ranked. Oh God, again, the UK is third ranked worldwide for people who just disappear without a trace, which, you know, very sobering thought when you do stuff like this. But I'm talking about, you know, the great, you know, the great frontier in America and Canada. Experienced bush people, park rangers, you know, wild campers, people who, you know, they've got a decent understanding of what they're doing out in the wild. Just disappear without a trace. Nothing's ever found of them. You know, and us, you know, tinfoil wearing hat loonies, more often than not, we look to the more sort of supernatural creatures that exist out in our forests and, you know, within our wildernesses worldwide, as to potentially being who is to blame, who is responsible for making these people disappear. I've said it once and I'll say it again, you know, if you're gonna sort of look to, you know, Bigfoot type creatures as being an explanation as to, you know, what is causing people just to disappear in the wilderness and, you know, forests and what have you, worldwide, it's like any animal in its natural territory, in its home range. This is their realm, this is their home. We are intruders. People who get attacked by sharks in the ocean, you know, 99% of the time it's accidental. Shark has misidentified a person as, you know, a food item. Human beings are not natural food items for sharks, but still doesn't change the fact, unfortunately, if somebody gets bit by a great white, by something that's got a mouth the circumference of your chest, you're in big trouble, and it potentially could be fatal. Same with crocodiles. You know, you go into a lagoon or a pond in Australia and the saltwater crocodiles lurking about, you're asking for it. And I think Bigfoot type creatures, you know, generally on the whole, they're very, very peaceful creatures, and they just want to be left alone and not bothered and live out in nature harmoniously, and that's their way of life. And of course, you know, we being the dumb ape, we have to come in and bloody ruin everything, you know, with our flattening down of forests and deforestation and disease and, you know, all these horrible things that make us a cancer to the world in a way. You know, it's not a wonder that they want to stay away from us. But every so often you're just going to come across that one Bigfoot that's like, you know what, fuck you lot, I'm taking matters into my own hands. And I think that's very similar to humans, is that I think humans on the whole are alright, but every so often you do come across a human that is just malicious. And I think the same could be said for Bigfoot, to be honest, guys. And speaking of wolves, guys, something else that we need to talk about quickly. that could become quite a big thing on this channel in the next couple of months, hopefully. It was very, very quietly announced recently that in sometime in 2021 a pack of wolves has been released in Thetford in the UK, in the first attempts to start rewilding the UK, with wolves again being a top predator, because wolves were here a long time ago, hundreds of years ago, maybe thousands of years ago. Obviously, of course, it's popular belief that they're all gone now, and they were hunted to extinction on our island. But they've been, there's been talk since about 2010, I would say, since I was a student, to start introducing wolves, and maybe further down the line looking at some species of bear, to start rewilding the UK with top predators again, to control the deer population, because there's over 20 million raw deer in this country, and obviously I love deer as much as the next nature enthusiast, but that's how an ecosystem essentially works. You need a couple of top predators to keep the prey items in check, otherwise the prey items will explode, and they'll eat all the vegetation. That's just simple food chain basics as that. But yeah, they've been released into Thetford, which is in an easterly corner of southern UK, and it was actually my very good friend Simon Clark who he mentioned to me, keep an eye out for them while you're out. Maybe have your bullwhip handy. He reckons they'll be up here by summertime. And like, guys, I can only hope if I know there are wolves around here in Lancashire, and in the hope, by within a couple of months' time, I will be here every frigging hour that God gives me. But yeah, the plan is that they've been reintroduced to rewild the UK, give us a top predator again, and hopefully they'll start to breed. And yeah, it's very, very interesting, I think. Some people's reactions have not been the same as mine, and understandably so. Because I think if I was sat here just one time sipping my coffee, and there was a species of wolf looking at me from over yonder, I'd definitely panic, and I'd be bringing my axe out a lot more with me, I think. So I don't think just a bullwhip would keep wolves away, guys, if they were hungry. So yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up now for today, guys. And yeah, the rain will be coming soon, so we'll see how much I can stick it out once that starts. But I've got some dinner with me. I've got some spaghetti bolognese mince that I'm going to warm up on fire probably in another half an hour or so, and then head home and get this video edited, and hopefully it'll be released this weekend at some point. Oh, I forgot to say, actually, last weekend I went on the Rivington Pike walk with the Winter Hill investigation team, Mick, Caroline, Denise, Deborah, Mick, Mark even, sorry, and I met a few new members as well while I was out there. Lee Roscoe, sorry mate, Lee Roscoe, and there was a young fella who came called Michael, who is really into urban exploring, who won't mind getting his contact details really, because he was sounding. Yeah, and we went on a walk around Rivington Pike at night time, obviously looking for the wolfman, bearman, dogman type creature. We went to all the areas where there'd been like sightings and interactions, and it was really, really good night, really good vibes all around. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. And then me, Mick, Michael and Lee, we headed up to the top of Winter Hill after everybody had gone home, and guys, we got soaked to within an inch of our life, but flip me, was it a good night. You know what I mean? Like, Mick, my friend Mickey said on my home, if more people did stuff like what we've just done tonight, more people would be happy and would enjoy the life. And I'm a true believer in that. Like, even though today hasn't particularly gone according to plan, right now in front of the fire, I'm relatively dry, I've got my fire on, I'm gonna have some food soon. I've done a bit of physical exercise, heaving all my logs and doing me, my wood chopping, and I feel top, I feel buzzing, because I've been quite low this week, and this has really picked me up quite a lot. So yeah, props. I definitely echo what you say, Mick, if you're watching this, mate. More people need to be out here, because this is our natural antidepressant, is all of this, in my opinion. So yeah, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon. Unfortunately I had to cut the trip short because one of my snakes got out. Yeah. So my dad, God bless him, rang me early in the morning, and Mick and Caroline, again, you guys, you're legends, because you brought me home in the early hours, so that I could get my snake back in its tank and, you know, prevent my dad from having a heart attack or anything like that. These things happen when, obviously, you have animals. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to, after that sort of extension of the video there, going to wrap it up. And yep, if you've enjoyed this video, if there's any recommendations you think you could make me to make this bench a masterpiece, please let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts as always. Please subscribe if you haven't, if you want to. Leave a like, leave a comment, share this on social media if you want. And yeah, I'll see you all further on down the road. Bye bye.